serving as chair or member. This is an important job, and we want you to feel prepared for the year ahead. In order to make progress, it is essential that the board direction and committee work are aligned and integrated with one another. We will talk more about that during this next hour. All of this drives the strategic plan and initiative. If you have questions at any time, please type them into the chat box on the right side of your screen. Staff will monitor this and address these as they arrive or when we get to a stopping place. Committee orientation, what we're going to be going over is a board overview of committees and their charges or what their job duties are, the chair's relationship to the board liaison and the staff liaison, how to get started in your new volunteer role, and finally what to do when the committee has recommendations for the board. Why do we have committees? Associations have committees for many reasons. Committees are an important part of the organizational structure and the workforce of the association. Associations are built on a system of committee actions, linking the association with attitudes and the real world of its members. The work is completed by committees helps grow and strengthen the association, the profession, and the committee members themselves. Committees are the bridge between members and leadership, between things to do and tasks completed, between what we can do and what we have accomplished. Committees represent, involve, and serve members, as well as provide a training ground for future leaders. Committees allow members with varied interests to be involved in the work of the association. Through committee service, members grow personally and professionally, gain a sense of professional community, and enhance their collaboration, problem solving, and communication skills. On the screen, you're going to see the ANFP governance organizational chart. If you look at the middle of the screen, you'll notice the membership is at the top. That is who we, as volunteers, serve. Chapters, committee, and headquarters staff report to the ANFP Board of Directors, who then reports to the general membership. You will also notice the CBDM on the left, and the certifying board purpose is to evaluate individuals who wish to enter, continue, and/or advance in the discipline of managing and/or directing food service operations through certification process, and to issue a credential to individuals who demonstrate the required level of competence under that process. The certifying board is a separate legal entity with its own board members, own bylaws, policies and procedures, and budget. This organization serves as the credentialing agency for ANFP. Also, the Nutrition and Food Service Education Foundation engages in innovative research, education, charitable causes that promote the vital role of the certified dietary manager as the expert in the profession of food service management and food safety. Again, this entity receives from ANFP, but is a separate organization. This is the charitable arm of ANFP. Abigail, are there any questions at this time?
There are none through the chat function. Let me go ahead and unmute folks here. And again, just to remind you, during the presentation, if you do not have a question or comment, we ask that you mute your phones. We are getting some background noise here on our end. So does anybody have any questions at this time? Okay, again, we ask that you mute your phone if you do not have any questions or comments. Again, we're getting a little bit of feedback here on our end, which I imagine the other callers can hear as well. Okay, let's keep going.
Now that you know the overall structure of ANFP, we'll focus on you. Your role is vital. The chair serves as both the leader of the committee and a skillful facilitator of the discussion. The chair facilitates the work of the committee, provides oversight, and ensures the goals and objectives of the committee are met. The chair fulfills this role by accepting and supporting the committee's charge or job duty, setting appropriate expectations around the members' contributions and responsibility, planning with staff and participating in all committee meetings, delegating and monitoring work assignments, maintaining records and relevant information on committee work, and moving members toward participating in decision making. It is very important for a chair to be well prepared when they come to the meeting, to have gone over their packets, and if they have any questions, to ask that of the staff member before the meeting starts. So you can go ahead and run the meeting and you can make comments, but you should already be prepared to know the answers. For those that are participants on the committee, your role is crucial in the success of the committee as well. As committee members, you will support the committee chair and its purpose by adhering to the committee's responsibilities. You will need to work collaboratively with committee members, staff, and board liaison. Manage and execute committee work, project, tasks as assigned. Also, the committee member fulfills this role by accepting and supporting the committee's charge, planning with staff, participating in all committee meetings, completing work assignments with staff support, and participating regularly and as needed. Again, it is very vital for committee members to read your information that is sent to you before the meeting and have questions lined out, and you can even call headquarters staff or the chair and get your answers to your questions prior to the meeting. This will help the meeting flow smoother. There are two key contacts on each committee. That is a board liaison and a staff liaison. The board liaison is a member of the ANFP Board of Directors, and we make the formal contact or connection between the board and the specific committee. The board liaison facilitates communication between the board and the committee served and brings recommendations from the committee to the board of directors. The staff liaison maintains regular communications with the committees and serves as a resource, prepares and maintains records and relevant information on committee work, distributes draft minutes for the committee to review, and collaborates with the board liaison and committee chair to determine need for new or unplanned initiatives that may require board action. Now we're going to go over all the committees so you have a broad overview of all the work that's being done. If you have any specific questions about that committee, please contact the staff liaison or committee chair. This presentation that I'm giving now will be distributed in an email following this call. First of all, audit finance, the chair is Sharon Vermeer and the staff liaison is Jennifer Carson. And audit finance is exactly what it sounds like. This group provides the oversight of the financial, the auditing, and the investment policies and activities of our association. Awards and recognition, the chair is Ben McCullough, the staff liaison is Abigail Salazzo, and they promote recognition of CDMs and those that support us. All of the legacy awards, the CDM awards, those type of things are the ones that they do the choosing of the winners of those awards. The chapter leadership team, chaired by Christy Salisbury, board liaison is Sharon Vermeer, staff liaison Abigail Salazzo. It helps improve and facilitates around the country by mentoring and visits. They will do travels to the state meetings to help states out when requested or when there's a celebration to go on. Whenever there's help, that's who goes. Industry Advisory Council is made up of our corporate partners. The chair and board liaison is Victoria Gardner, and the staff liaison is Marla Isaacs. And they provide guidance on our ANFP strategic direction from their unique perspective. And believe me, I've been involved with ANFP before we had a lot of industry people on board. They do a lot to promote and give us ideas in what direction to head in so they can help service us. Leadership development. The chair is Debbie McDonald and the staff liaison is Jay Carino. They identify and develop members and leaders into ANFP membership. This group interviews and slays the nominee for the board. They do, and this is an ongoing year-round committee. We do continuous looking at meetings and things for identifying and recruiting future board and committee leaders in definition of skills and attributes required and national volunteers within and beyond the membership. They provide input and content for board orientation, training, assessment and evaluation tools, and succession planning. And then, of course, the big one is formulating the slate for the national election of officers and contacting those candidates. The Legislative Committee, again, is exactly as it sounds. Works for the state and federal level on government affairs. The chair there is Barbara Thomason, and the staff liaison is Joyce Gilbert. The Professional Development Committee has a chair and a staff liaison only. They come up with hot topics for live and online education for CDMs. The PAC Committee, again, is kind of what it says. It recommends how funds are used for legislative initiatives. The chair is Leonard Turpin, and the staff liaison is Joyce Gilbert. The Program Review Committee, there is no chair or board liaison. The staff liaison is Anna Slachter, and they work with school programs so that they stay up to date and current on the issues. Those are all of the 9 ANFP committees that are working hard for our members.
Okay, we'd like to see, does anybody have any questions right now? I will go ahead and unmute phones again. Again, feel free to use the chat function if you'd like. Sorry, I'm unmuting phones. It takes a minute. Any questions out there? No? Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll keep moving.
Okay. Now that you've seen the scope of what ANFP committees work on, I want to discuss how to work together and be an effective committee. We all want to make a difference, right? On the screen, you'll see the tips that will facilitate your success in leading, communicating, and facilitating the work with your fellow committee members. Chairs can stimulate discussion and let committee members work out ideas. This may take some awkward silence at first, but keep in mind that some may not feel comfortable speaking up right away, depending on their own personalities mixed with those of others. Similarly, try to prevent one-sided discussions. It is important to talk about all options for an agenda item. No one should feel ashamed or bullied for bringing up an idea that is different from the rest of the group. This can help create a positive environment. Who wants to participate when it's not fun or effective? Recognize each other's contributions and hard work, and actively listen and provide constructive criticism or share your own experiences when appropriate. Be open to learning and be open to mentoring. This fosters a learning experience for everyone serving on the committee. Clear and frequent communication will be your key to success. Chairs should communicate with staff and board liaison to obtain background information on the prior work of the committee and share this with the committee members. Initiate communication with committee members by sending an introduction of yourself, the committee's charge, a committee roster, and a summary of ongoing work, if there is any, to all its members. Be in contact with committee members on an ongoing basis in between conference calls and/or meetings. Share with the board liaison the name of committee members to exhibit excellent leadership and collaboration skills so they might be considered for future leadership positions in the association. The chair should address dysfunctional behavior and identify members who are not fulfilling their obligations, and if necessary, ask the board liaison to have them removed. Seek collaboration with other committees who might be impacted by your committee's activity. And be sure to pass your files along to your successor so they can follow and know what has been done. Facilitation. Plan the work of the committee in accordance with the strategic plan and more directly along your committee's specific charge. Use and follow an agenda. Additional agenda items should be sent to the chair ahead of time. Encourage the expression and constructive discussion of diverse viewpoints. Work should be delegated by the chair with a timeline for completion. Work with your staff liaison to ensure that the work of the committee is being carried out and that you are equipped with the tools you need to do the work of your committee. Everything ANFP does, including committee work, relates back ultimately to the mission and vision statements. Keep these in mind throughout your year. Our vision is the certified dietary manager is the cornerstone of the collaborative dietetics profession. Our mission is to position the certified dietary manager as the expert in food service management and food safety. That's where we all want to be. The strategic plan is our roadmap. It tells us where we want to go, how we want to get there, and what a successful journey will look like. The strategic plan is made of different layers. You have your goals, which is a description of what we want to achieve, outcome-orientated and measurable. You have KPIs, or called Key Performance Indicators. These performance measurements by which we evaluate the success. The strategies are the methods used to achieve the goals. The plan of work is the implementation of the plan used by the staff. First, we'll discuss goal number 1. The CDM CFPP is recognized as the most vital staffing qualification in non-commercial food service management. The KPIs have been worked on and will be accepted by the board in June, and then they'll go into effect. Strategies: increase recruitment among those interested in exploring food service management as a profession. Promote the value proposition of the CDM CFPP to graduates and practitioners who are qualified to take the exam. Establish the CDM CFPP brand with relevant food service industry stakeholders. And 4, to promote awareness and support of the role of CDM CFPP in the Safe Food for Seniors bill and the LTC regulatory requirements. Continue to keep in mind Goal 2 as a committee chair. The CDM CFPP value and maintain continued professional competency. Again, the KPIs have been mapped out and we'll approve them at the June board meeting. Strategies: promote continued competency for CDM CFPPs that best meet their professional needs. Establish advanced level educational opportunities. And 3, to provide best practices and future trending content in live meetings and online programs and publications. And finally, Goal 3 is educational engagement. The KPIs, again, have been worked on. The strategies: develop data repository using trend data to determine the impact of the role of the CDM CFPP. Develop data repository and tracking systems in the areas of food safety and food security and the impact that the CDM CFPP has on operational efficiencies. And 3, develop data repository and tracking systems in areas of food waste and sustainability and the impact of the CDM CFPP has on operational efficiencies. Are there any questions on any of the strategic plans?
I probably need to unmute people, don't I?
Yeah. A good place maybe to stop. Sure.
Don't forget to use the chat function if you've logged into the web portion. Those questions pop up. Since we're having a little bit of difficulty with the mute. Anybody have questions? No? Okay. And certainly feel free to reach out to us after the call if you don't want to pose your question now or if you have comments also. But we'll keep moving.
Next, how will your unique committee align work with the strategic plan? What goals and strategies intersect with your committee charge? And does a current or proposed committee initiative align with our vision, mission, and current plans? To start this volunteer year, first, schedule a call with your staff liaison to discuss your charge, formalize a work plan, and determine how you'll communicate with updates, be it email, phone calls, etc. Set a target date and timelines for things to be accomplished, and goals and outcomes. Also consider involving your board liaison on this discussion. On the first committee meeting or conference call, an overview of what we just discussed above and keep them informed. The committee's work will be relayed to the ANFP Board of Directors through board reports. These will be a 3 to 4 bullet point and are provided in advance of the Board of Directors meetings. Advanced packets are distributed 4 times a year, corresponding with the board meetings. Please note if there are no updates, then there's no report that is necessary. Some committees' work is very focused at certain times of the year. Continuing the conversation about getting started, please familiarize yourself with the parliamentary procedure cheat sheet and the format of the agenda and minute forms. Again, you'll get examples of these in an email after this call. Also, if the committee has a recommendation for the board, ensure that the board liaison is fully informed of what it is. Collaborate with the staff liaison to submit a written report with background information, the committee's process on how they came to that decision, and a final recommendation for board approval. Again, I thank you for taking time for being with us today. Again, do any of you have any questions for us at this time that we can answer?
I didn't see any come up in chat, so let's give everyone a chance. If you have any questions for Janice, feel free to ask those now. No questions? Okay. Well, again, if you have questions for us, please feel free to email me, Abigail Salazzo. I'll be happy to forward those on to Janice, or certainly reach to Janice directly. And you'll be seeing a number of attachments come through, including this presentation, as well as the parliamentary procedure cheat sheet, and then an example of board minutes and an agenda. And certainly if there's anything else that you need to run an effective committee or be a part of an effective committee, feel free to reach out to us at any time. Okay, thank you everybody. Have a great day.